Telehealth is the process of doing therapy with the use of technology, so either by phone, laptop, computer, those kinds of things. So for a client who wants to go through the process with telehealth, they'll need to establish that with the administrative staff, who can then send them instructions in terms of how to connect. And then day of the appointment, they can follow their instructions to connect to the Doxy site, which is what we're currently using. And they'll be placed in the clinician's virtual waiting room, and the clinician will see that they're there and then can essentially grab them from the waiting room whenever the clinician's ready to start session.
As far as the process goes for successfully setting up telehealth, the first thing you need to do is try the technology out prior to the session. Make sure that, whatever platform you are using, the web address to go to. I would say the second thing you need to do is make sure you have a good internet connection. An Ethernet cable or strong Wi-Fi typically works better than regular cellular connection, and some areas of your home may work better than others. Try to go to a spot where the internet signal is going to be stronger in your home. And the third thing I would say to be aware of is be in a quiet or a private place, such as your office, a bathroom, a garage. I would say, very similar to how, when you come into the office and you kind of have that private space with your counselor, make sure you have that set up at your home. Really have your own spot that it can kind of just be you and your counselor, and something that mimic that confidentiality of a face-to-face session. The fourth thing is, I would say, don't multitask. Set aside time just as you would for an in-person session. If you connect from somewhere other than your home, let your clinician know the address, since that's something clinicians need to make a note of in case you have a medical emergency in session. And they also have to worry about state lines and stuff like that. Log on early so you can kind of see yourself, what you look like in the chat room. Make sure, that the light isn't completely blinding you or your counselor. The fifth thing, I would say, get someone to watch your kids if possible, or set them up with an activity ahead of time, and make sure again that you have that privacy and that confidentiality. And then the last thing is communicate any potential challenges to your therapist prior to session via the patient portal for assistance.
So to be totally transparent, yes, technical issues are a thing. They don't happen that frequently, but when they do, I've established a plan with the client in advance, so we both are on the same page and we know exactly how we're going to handle them. And the way that we handle that, we usually try to connect through the Doxy site for about a minute or two, and if we continue to have problems, they know that they're going to get a phone call from me where we can either finish the session or have part of it rescheduled.